Time is running out in the open enrollment period for the Massachusetts Health Connector. The clearinghouse provides more leverage for people without health or dental coverage through their workplace. To tell us about some of the options and the process is our guest from the Health Connector, the Associate Director of Public Outreach and Education, Niki Conte. Thank you very much for being with us, Niki.
Thank you for having me.
Niki, this is a name that's going to confuse people because is this mass health? This is something different, and what is it exactly?
Okay, so the Massachusetts Health Connector is actually the state's marketplace for health insurance coverage. So when people think about the Affordable Care Act, we're the Massachusetts marketplace where anyone can come in who's a Mass resident and apply for health insurance coverage. And if they qualify for a subsidy, they can enroll in a subsidized plan, or they can simply shop for a completely unsubsidized coverage.
Now, of course, shopping means you could be just sort of bombarded with a bewildering amount of information. Do you help people cut through the noise?
Yes, we do. So I'm probably being, when I say shopping, I'm probably being very loose because obviously health insurance can be complicated, and what we've been trying to do with our website over the years is really try to make this process a bit smoother, a little bit more transparent. We have created lots of changes to the user interface on the site so that people can sort by their preferences. They can filter out health insurance plans by their by particular doctors or networks that they want to have in their plans.
Yeah. Of course, what you've also been doing lately is going around the state making appearances to give people a heads up. What was the reason for that?
Well, you know, when I talk to people about health insurance coverage in Massachusetts, they say, you know, first of all, they say, well, what are you still doing there? Isn't everybody in Massachusetts covered at this point? And I say, well, you know, we do have a phenomenal rate. We have 97% of people in Massachusetts covered. However, that doesn't mean that outreach efforts need to stop. I mean, we need to keep informing people that health insurance coverage is available to them. It's a really simple way to, you know, if they come to mahealthconnector.org, we've got a really simple way to compare and contrast options. And you'd be surprised, there are still lots of people who don't know that they could get access to coverage and get some help paying for it. So,
now, I imagine that there could be people out there who know about health insurance. They know in a general way why it's good to have. But let's say they're working in the gig economy, they're making good money, they're 26 years old, they're very healthy. So why do they need insurance?
Okay, how do I answer this? Why do they need insurance? Probably a couple of different ways I would answer this. First of all, you never know. You never know. We want to, here's what I would say to the young person, maybe either in the gig economy or maybe an entrepreneur. I would say you'd be really surprised. If you come to the Health Connector and you shop for coverage, you might actually maybe not be making lots of money. You might be working a couple of different part-time jobs, or you're launching a new business. And I'd say, well, you should check out our subsidized program called Connector Care. Depending on someone's income, they could actually get really affordable coverage. So while they're either, you know, driving for, can I say Uber or Lyft, while they're doing something like that, or maybe launching a new business venture, there's absolutely no need for them to go without health insurance coverage. They could get a very good comprehensive coverage through the Connector Care program and pay a very reasonable amount of money.
Now, part of what's going on here in the mix is that you've got a pool of people bidding on insurance. Mm-hmm. Does that bring down the cost that much?
It does. It does. And I want to be careful how I frame this. We have over 300,000 people right now in our Connector Care program. So we do have a segment of the market. So we are in a really good position. I'm not sure if you know this or if others have explained this, but each year we go through a comprehensive review of all the health insurance plans that are offered through the Health Connector or on our exchange. This known as the seal of approval process, but essentially the carriers have to submit their plan options to us, and that is reviewed by our board. We also have a rigorous review with the Division of Insurance, and these carriers know that we've got the Connector Care population. We've got that program, so it really does help us. So we have coverage for the Connector Care members, but then we also have a number of people, let's say they're making a bit more money, they're independent contractors, they don't qualify for any help, but they want to buy directly through us to get their coverage and just shop and compare pricing.
Well, one thing is really important here. Today is the deadline, so people
Yes.
watching this tonight,
Yes.
what can they do?
Okay, so today is the deadline. Today is the end of, January 23rd is the end of open enrollment. So I would encourage, if anyone's hearing this evening and they think, oh, I guess I missed it, it's over. That's not necessarily the case. It is the close of enrollment, but for people who have qualifying life events, like maybe if someone loses access to their health insurance coverage, or if someone just recently moved to Massachusetts, or if somebody never knew about the Connector Care program and thought, wow, I didn't even know that existed, they could apply, and if they became newly eligible for Connector Care, they actually have they've got 60 days to take action, so they could shop, compare their plan options, shop, choose, pay for the coverage, and then be enrolled.
And finally, you can do this online, so what's the website they should look for?
So our website is www.mahealthconnector.org, and from that site, that's our main site. Somebody can do this on their own. They can navigate, gather a lot of information, and they can actually sit down and complete the application on that site. Important thing to note, if someone doesn't really feel confident with this process, they can contact our customer service center. The telephone number is on that site, but they can also click on the help button and scroll down and select help in my area, so something like that. They would simply type in their zip code or city, and there's lots of free help across Massachusetts by certified assisters who can help them get through this process, and they'll start a relationship with them and get them covered now and help them along the way if they want it.
Thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
Niki Conte from the Massachusetts Health Connector. We'll have more news in just a moment.